A good morning to you, and thanks for joining us on Tea Time. And you know how we do it right here. We bring you entertainment news, views, and the latest buzz. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo, and I'm here with my never a dull moment guys, Elsie Godwin and Ife Oshunkeye. Hello, people.
What's poppin', bro?
So, good weekend?
Yes, good weekend.
I think it shows on you, actually, because you came back with a new look.
Oh,
Yes.
that's true. I didn't
Fiery,
notice. Wow.
fiery red.
You have to pay to touch my hair. You don't just touch my hair
But I paid
without paying.
half of it.
What is going on?
He paid half, I paid half, so
No.
we can touch.
But how was your weekend?
Not bad. Ife, what about you? Good weekend?
Oh, yeah. The GT Fashion Week was the bomb. Yeah, I got the shades from the GT Fashion Week, actually. That's why I've decided not to take it off. I need you guys to admire it.
Do you want to tell them how much you bought it?
18K. He always says 18K for everything.
I won't tell you. No, for the GT Fashion Week, things were a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And I think that was the whole idea for Nigerian enterprises, fashion enterprises, to showcase their stuff and sell it at a very affordable price and show you that, okay, this is what we can do. This is actually made in Nigeria. So,
Oh, wow.
yes, it's really amazing.
It looks really good.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
So we're going to be having a full report on that later this afternoon,
Yeah, later
hopefully.
this afternoon,
So Ife's going to be shedding more light on that and then bringing more info regarding that as well. So moving on to our first story, it's not just any story. I think it's the biggest story this morning. And if you haven't heard, Banky W is running for the House of Representatives in 2019. So...
Are you clapping?
Exactly. I'm surprised that you're clapping.
Yes,
actually.
Banky W,
Olubankole Wellington.
Yeah,
That's what we
Banky
call it in
W.
the food,
Why? Because he's going for presidency
Have you
or
forgotten
of
Chief
presidency?
Femi Branch?
You know, Chief Babafemi Branch.
Branch, yeah.
Okay, let's focus.
Yes.
If we're going by what Brimo said, then are we saying
Seriously, because I was going
Banky
to go
W is not
there.
a thief?
Yes, because
Now,
that was
you
the
know
first
what, I'm
thing.
going to exclude Banky W from
You
that.
can't exclude
Why are you
anyone.
excluding
Exactly.
anybody
Thank
from-
you.
If you guys realize, Banky W has gone more into public speaking, into advocacy, and movie production. So it's not now that he's leaving the music scene. Even though
Oh, you're
Which
saying he
makes
has
his
left?
matter
Like he's
even
not,
worse.
no,
he's
he
not
drops.
singing
He
anymore.
drops songs from time to time. But most times these days, Banky W is probably in South Africa doing one public speaking.
But
or
that's
the
exactly
other.
what Brimo is saying. that people have left their
That
love
was
for
in
music.
politics.
No, what
you
I'm
understand?
saying is
So
that-
now,
No, but you're saying-
But you know,
W's
if
case-
a Banky W already know where he's going to now, all those things he's doing are just the things you have to do to position yourself.
Exactly.
For this time, so
Yeah.
him doing all that.
And I think Banky W will make a great leader. First of all, if you listen, I'm a big fan of Banky.
I am too.
So I listen
You're a
to.
big fan of all of them.
Yeah, but I listen to a lot of his public speakings, and it makes a lot of sense.
He
He's
does.
someone that is well read, is well traveled, and he actually understands the situation of the country. So when he speaks with fact, and you know that, okay, this is a man that knows what he's doing.
But if you speak with facts as well, but that doesn't mean you're running to politics immediately.
Well, you don't know. For now, maybe I don't have political intentions, but like I said, I'll be running for the president of Nigeria sometime.
When you haven't started, from...
It means you already have a political intention.
Yeah, I have political intentions, definitely. But I'm not starting from the grassroots. I'm going straight to the top.
Well, for me, I don't think I
I'm
wasn't
doing the
surprised
Donald Trump
when
thing.
he finally came out to say he's going to run. I think I kind of respected it because he doesn't give off the vibe of just a regular musician.
Yeah, even the
or
way he
artist,
dresses,
the way he carries himself,
his
you know.
charisma.
So, and I'm beginning to think this came out now, not before now, because he was hoping to get married before he can.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so I think Banky has always had this in the works, and he's been working towards it. And what I would like Nigerians to look out for is what he's putting on the table and what he's saying he's going to do. We're not going to support him because he's Banky W. We're not going to support him because he's young and going with the not too young to run bill.
Based on his
And,
manifesto.
or because of the things he says. And I mean, his words are really sweet. You know, we're not going to support him from that. We want to know what he plans to do when he gets there.
And then he said
That's the more important
he said a
part.
few things that kind of highlighted what Ali Baba said, and he kind of set the record straight, contrary to what Ali Baba said when he said that the not too young to run bill was a scam. He said, how many of, Ali Baba said, how many of these young guys can afford 10 million naira for campaign or 20 million naira.
I think he's talking from you going to any of this established party already. You have to buy the ticket, which is very expensive. But Banky W is not
Banky
going.
W
He's going
is telling
from
you
a
that
party
they
that
say
is
we
new.
do not have the numbers.
Money.
They say we do not have the money. They say we do not have this. But he's trying to rally around the youth. Do you know how many well-to-do Nigerian youths we have that have their own businesses, that they are entrepreneurs, that if you can gather these people...
This new modern party is being supported by one of the very rich, I think. He's very well into business, so I think they have the financial capacity.
Yeah, they have the... And Banky W has been very, very, very successful in his business dealings with his record labels, with movies and things like that.
So he will also
I believe he also has personal money.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, I think regardless of what Banky W has, regardless of what his party has, in the grand scheme of things, it's still very minimal to what they will need eventually.
Yeah, true that, but
By what they will need eventually, what do you mean?
Yeah, I think Ife understands what I mean.
Yeah, by what they will need, in the sense
mean?
that financial, getting the youth to support, getting the cabals out of the system and all of that. And since he has already started with a lot of advocacy and a lot of... the youths are definitely going to be on Banky W's side. It's like when Shina Pella ran and he got his ticket and all of that. He didn't do that by himself. The youths were behind it because of who he was, Shina Pella, or who he is. So in the same scheme, Banky W will get support from people like Whiskey, David Doe, Scales, people that have come through him, Niola, and people like that. So I think it won't be so difficult. These are not political
support right now.
Yes, but
for me,
Okay, guys, do you think that he will, by any chance, is that the House of Reps is a good place to start in politics?
Yes, a very great place to start. Look at Desmond Elliott.
Do you think so?
There.
I need to finish what I was saying. For me, I feel like Banky W, if he wins, it's going to be a good example for so many people out there. Yeah. I also think that he has what it takes to win. Because he's not coming out to say, I want to be governor or president. It's an area, a locality that he can relate with. It's there are people he's living with right now, and he can go to them and say, this is what is happening, this is what is happening. But I'm scared for APC and PDP, because if these people are not going to allow you go further than you're supposed to go, you probably won't be able to do anything, even when you have goodwill behind you. At the end of the day, you will see the result and hear Banky W had 1 vote. You know, so the people in his camp now, I hope they have their voters card. I hope they've been working on this for a long time, and to be able to finally win it. It's not just enough to say, I'm coming out to run. I really want him to win.
Okay, time for a break. When we return, we'll be bringing you the latest scoop, the latest news, and the latest headline on Aremu Afolayan. We'll be right back. It's where the big stories live. This is Plus TV Africa.
When I did it, I was full on, hands-on on the whole project.
So how did you deal with it? All of that negativity?
I got depressed, obviously. Duh. Haven't you heard?
I've got 2 of the hottest topics currently trending on social media. If you've seen the word Senate trending on Twitter, that's because the Nigerian police force has gone Trump style.
I haven't shared this with anyone, but I reckon I get about like 100 people asking for help a day. That's a fact. I can prove that.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time right here on Plus TV Africa. Up next, we're about to discuss Aremu Afolayan, who, after airport officials frustrated, declares that Nigeria is the most useless country in the world. So they basically frustrated him at the airport. Because there's another report that says it was his sister that was frustrated.
No.
They were going together. I think he was going to see her off.
Okay.
And so this is not Kunle Afolayan. This is wow. They look so much
alike.
But Kunle Afolayan has a scar on the side of his face, so that's how you know that this is Kunle.
Okay,
well, without the scar, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, especially when Kunle, Kunle also had a period when he was keeping his hair like this, so you wouldn't know. They look like twins.
But what he's talking about, of course, I believe we all have experienced it, and it's not new. people talk about it every time, and it seems the government just don't care. I mean, of course, they don't face it. When they're going through, you know, an official is coming and everybody is sitting up and all that. Like, we've talked about this over and over again. I believe it's high time people in charge do something about it. I mean, you're traveling. Sometimes they try to intimidate you, especially when you know your rights. I remember when I was traveling one time and they were like, oh, your papers are not complete. Then they now hold something, one other paper that I don't need, and they were like, oh, you need this to travel, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I don't. And these are things I need. I'm fine, and I can pass. So they wanted to give me that impression that, oh, if I don't cooperate with them, they're sending me back, you're not going anywhere, your plane ticket and everything is going to go missing, until I made them realize that, okay, I'm from the media. So they start acting well, but I mean, everybody's not from the media.
Do you not think they were just looking for something to grease their palms?
Yes, that's
that
exactly
is what we're
what
talking
they wanted.
about.
Yeah.
So why do you want me to give you something to grease your palms? Are you not being paid salaries? Are you there to extort Nigerians or anybody passing the border? It's really frustrating.
Let
very
Ife tell us his own
frustrating.
experience at the airport.
Well, basically, I really don't have a lot of negative experiences at the airport because I'm this guy that when I get there, I'm already cracking jokes with you. I'm already making you feel like you're my guy, even though I don't know you. You get what I mean? So most times they just be like, oh, this guy is okay, and then they treat me nicely. So sometimes I think it's the way you approach them. So even if you tell me there that look, your family can't come in, I'll be like, okay, so if now your family no go follow you, and you get everybody bursting to laughter, and then it softens the mood. But when you tell me your family cannot see, and I'm like, what do you mean? Do you know who I am? I am Aremu Afolayan, and you're telling me my family cannot.
Are you trying to say that's what happened?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying sometimes the way you approach these people, and even if they want their palms to be graced, we're not saying it is the right thing. We're not saying you should do this, but there are ways you can put it to them that, look, come on, man.
If you were saying, what you're saying is totally wrong.
Hold up.
Not wrong. It's just that it's like...
It's more like,
no,
okay,
he's
I'm at the
generalizing
desk and I'm doing my job, right? My job is to make sure you have the right papers and you pass through. I do not owe you being your friend or being nice to you. You do your job.
He has a point.
I was getting somewhere.
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, if the approach doesn't work that way, because we know this is...
What I'm saying is that your approach doesn't have to work because they are there to do a
that's what
job.
I'm saying. Like, if your approach doesn't work and they're still insisting on their evil ways, then you can bring out the beast in you. We all have a demon in us. Do you understand? But I'm saying you don't start with a demon in you when you're approaching these people, because we know this is the
approach
system.
them with the demons first.
I mean,
9 times out of 10,
and you're giving your paper first.
Yeah,
That
they don't.
is,
That's
it's
the
not
thing.
about. We are not even supposed to have a conversation that goes to hi, how are you? If it gets to that point, it's fine. We
You see,
are all
that
supposed
is
to be
the thing
friendly.
with a lot of Nigerians. We're saying you don't have to go there with hi. If
you're
everybody
doing your
carries
job.
their face, then who is going to be nice to who?
Oh, God.
At some point, we need
At
to
the end
learn
of the day,
how
Ife,
to approach.
the person...
I'm not
Let me
talking
give you a
about
typical
just the person
example.
traveling. I'm also talking about the officials.
No, let me give you a
if
typical
you approach me with a
example.
smiley face and you're telling me, oh, God, I can grace your palm just because I know you're
Ife.
doing a great job.
Ife.
Do you understand? So sometimes the approach also comes from them. If you do not approach me nicely, you don't expect me to respond to you nicely. So now, these are the reformations we are talking about. Now, these people need to be orientated about how to approach people, even if you require further documents to be checked, or you want your palm to be greased. There are proper channels.
You should not want your palm to be greased. That is the point.
It's the ethics, the ethics of the profession.
Now, you guys are not getting me.
You see, this thing you are saying, they do it a lot. A lot of them will play with
It's
you because they
annoying.
want you to give them. And when you do not now
Exactly.
give them,
Let me tell
they
you my own
switch.
experience. You know, like one of the times I was traveling, I can't remember where I was going, but I was going from Lagos, I think, to Abuja. And then these guys were saying, like, I went to the luggage area, and then they were all saying that I was over luggage or something like that. Or how did they say it? And I was like, no, I've got the rights that is even less than, I can't remember how many kg you're supposed to travel with. Anyway, these guys were like, no, it's over, that you need to pay extra, you know, for the stuff. And I knew that these guys wanted, you know, extra, because I could see on their faces that they knew that I knew that this was much less. Anyway, one of the girls that was attending to me at that time left. I think someone called her or something like that. In the end, I didn't want to part with any cash. I just told her, no, you know, and then that was it. But I saw the girl that later, she was like, so have you done the needful? That was what she asked me. So she was expecting, they were expecting, but unfortunately I didn't. But at the end of the day, I wasn't difficult with them, and we were laughing and joking even then. So what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter whether you laugh or joke, they will still they still want their palms greased.
Yes. And all of that. Now, let's go back to the story of Aremu. Okay. Aremu he brought up two instances. He said there was a time he was traveling and his family were sending him off, and they were like, you have to pay for your family to see you off to your departure lounge or something like that. And he felt that was like absurd. Like, why would you be saying I have to pay for my family? This is something like, okay, come on, I'm leaving. Now, in the case that made him talk, he was going to drop a sister who wasn't even a citizen of Nigeria. She's a citizen of France. And she was with a France passport. And they were telling her that, they're not comfortable with, I think,
they were telling him the passport is fake.
Wow.
And that is what they do. I remember when they tried that with me and they were telling me
I don't think they told him directly that it is fake. They only said they were not comfortable.
In this video. No, that was what he said. He said it's fake. So how would you say it's fake? Even if you think it's fake, can't you verify it? You're supposed to have things to use. I didn't want to get all emotional.
And then they wanted her to go get the Nigerian passport, which I think was like a very stupid thing.
You pay 120,000.
But wait, I was listening to the radio on my way here this morning. So there was this man talking about reformation in different forces, the military, police, NAFDAC, and all of that. And what he said was, look, all this boils down to the government, because imagine a regular policeman that has some ranks, and is collecting a minimum of 250,000 a month.
If that. If that.
No, imagine.
No, imagine he's
That's
taking.
what I'm saying. If at all.
Yeah, he's getting 250,000 naira a month as a salary. He has an office to himself. He has access to the internet. Policemen will automatically reform themselves in their head. Now, the reason they're on the streets asking you for bribe is because they're not getting enough. And if you think about it, these guys are human. They have family they have to take care of. Now, imagine someone collecting 250,000 naira monthly, and then he gets on the road and you're trying to bribe him. You don't have your papers complete, and you're trying to bribe him with 100 naira. It will put you in handcuff and take you to jail. Like, are you trying to insult my person? So all this boils down to the government, which is why I totally agree with Aremu that, look, it is because the likes of Buhari, the likes of Ambode, they know what to do. Now, we're still fighting over minimum wage of 30,000 naira. Like, what can 30,000 naira do for any civil servant? Let's be realistic. Like, in a week, you spend more than 30,000 naira ILC. Do you understand? So, if you're not giving me 30,000 naira for me to spend for a month, so what happens to the rest of the 3 weeks if I spend 30,000 naira in a month, in a week? Do you understand? So the reformation has to come from the government first. Now, let's tackle the government. Let's tackle people getting paid right, people getting treated the way they are supposed to. Then we won't have an issue of having policemen standing on the road, collecting 100 naira, collecting 50 naira.
I do like that you're diverting, but I know where you're taking it back to. Maybe the immigration officers are not being paid enough, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, you even wanting to get something, it's not the problem. It's the fact that when you do not get it, you now want to make my life uncomfortable. If you know me well, you know I easily give. You know, so, but when you want to make it your right,
launch on you,
when you want to make it your right, then that's where I have a problem. So if that is the situation and you think, oh, what you get from the airport daily helps your family and blah, blah, do not make it your right. Don't inconvenience the citizens because you like want to add to your salary. Do you know how much I'm also being paid?
And then I think another problem is putting square pegs in
the right hole, or what's it
circle pegs, or how do they say that?
But if we haven't got time,
just tell me.
We're out of time.
How do you say that precisely? Tell me.
I'll tell you during this.
No. Tell me so that the people can know.
Time for another break. When we come back, it'll be time for a couple more interesting headlines. Don't go anywhere.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 I dey pay.
Welcome back. It's still tea time right here on Plus TV Africa, and we're swiftly moving on to our next story. Dammy Krane shares 3 things that regarding his arrest and imprisonment taught him. So he's basically sharing 3 things about that. So very interesting.
Do you think he learned well?
Yeah, I think he actually did.
But what are the 3 things? Because as far as I'm concerned, he just said something about family, fans, and friends. Yeah, so
Family, fans, friends.
Those are even in one, that he learned
That's
to
what I'm
appreciate
saying.
them.
Yes.
Appreciate family.
All were in one point. He learned to
That's what I'm
appreciate his
saying.
friends, his
But
family.
they were
and
saying,
then,
yeah.
he also mentioned that a lot of his friends turned family. So I think that's
It's
just
all,
it.
oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
that's just
all-
one.
Yeah,
That's the
so-
thing. That's
but
what I'm
those-
saying.
Well, the bloggers, you know how they do now. They always just try to make.
Okay, so you don't think that's him? It's the bloggers that have made it because
No,
they
they
say
made
3
it into
things.
3 because if I was to write that story, I would say this is what Dammy Krane learned from prison.
Going to prison.
Yeah.
Do you understand? This
Yeah.
is what, so I'll make it 1. Do you understand? But they wanted sensational headlines that will make you and want to
But
find
what
out.
I'm saying is
the
we
3
don't
things.
really know if it's him or the bloggers. So it could have been him
No,
as
this
well.
is what he said. But
That-
they wanted you to want to find out the 3 things. But this is like just 1 thing. And another thing, no, I think
it's 2. I'm trying to remember
2.
the first
Yeah, the
one.
second
It's
one,
2.
the second one is the fact that he only focuses on the positive
Yeah, the
stuff.
positive
Do
comments.
you understand? Which
Yes.
is
So
what
it's just
a
2.
lot of celebrities need to start doing instead of replying trolls. Now, begin to appreciate the people that take out their time to be like, oh, Elsie, you're my greatest mentor, you're my greatest this. The ones that tell you the right thing, not the ones that tell you what happened to your old
Yeah,
name.
and I know I've said this.
What
over and
is
over
wrong with your
again.
real name?
Yeah.
Not the one. Don't
I
focus
don't pay
on
them
those ones.
attention. It was
Yeah.
the bloggers that
Yeah.
paid them attention. Well, please. But I understand what Ife is saying, and I do understand what Dammy Krane is saying. I think I've had to I think I spoke to MI on this too. And I'm like, why do you people pick on the bad comments? There are too many good comments and you don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You do not appreciate it. And sometimes these people come at you with the wrong comment because they know that is the only time you recognize them. So it's not like they really want to be haters. They'll be like, oh, if I say my head is big now, he will answer me. So they need your attention. So if you give them the attention when they say something nice about you, I don't think anybody will sit down and try to be savage for them to get your attention. So they should pay more attention to the good comments, like if I had said.
Okay,
It's really
so
important.
let's even look at Dammy Krane's, time in prison. Do you think that's an understatement for someone to have stayed like 20 months in?
Was it 20 months?
Sorry,
No,
how
it
many
wasn't
months was it?
20 months.
I think it wasn't even up
I
to
think
a month.
5, 6.
It was more.
It was more. I think about
I think
5,
it was
6
more
months.
because. Anyway, his length of time in prison, I would have thought that he would have learned much
5
more
months, yeah.
than appreciate,
You know, when I opened the link, I expected much more lessons.
Thank you.
So, I mean, everybody's learning process is different.
No, but you know the funny
So-
thing? Dammy Krane was acquitted and discharged of all the allegations
Exactly,
brought
yeah.
against him. So even why he would appreciate family and friends and the people that were saying negative stuff. Even he said some of his family members were even saying negative stuff about him. Like, that's
Okay.
when you have one
All
auntie
right,
that will
Ife, I
say,
need you to round up because we need to move
yeah,
on.
that's when you have one auntie that will tell you that he has living the fast
Omo,
life. I
yeah.
can
Omo,
suffer
jaku,
more.
jaku.
Jati. You understand? Like, so it's understandable when you say
that he now appreciates
he now
family.
appreciates
Okay.
family and
All
those that
right.
were there for him. Yeah.
Up next, WAJE denies claims that featuring on P Square's 2007 hit song made her popular.
I second that.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Because
quickly hear
the
from you
thing
then. If you
is-
don't
Should I tell you
second
why I
it.
second
No, if
Hold
let's
on, I'll let
yeah.
you speak, but I just want to mention that I started paying attention to WAJE after that song. She wasn't in the video.
That's what
but
she's
the
saying.
voice was a voice that you could not ignore. like you were enjoying this song, and at some point you're like, who did this? Is it verse now or tune, or what will I call it? It was just so awesome that you could not ignore it. Even at the fact that WAJE did not have that face then. Her voice was strong. I think it's a case of having an opportunity and using it well.
Yeah, but the thing is, a
I
voice without a face is not going to help you. A voice without a face is not going to help.
No, that is what we know in this industry.
Because in fact, if you didn't know, in fact, there will be 3 or 4 people that have that same similar voice. And you know that you would not even have known that it was WAJE until she came out.
Do you know that I did not know
but okay,
WAJE?
if you're looking at it from that angle, when WAJE
love...
comes up and say, "Oh, I was the one in that song,"
then it will register.
Then it will
register. But before then, you will not have known.
If she doesn't use it well, even if her face was there and she didn't use it well, it's not going to take her anywhere.
No, if her face was there, no, listen, Elsie, if her face was there, but if her face was there though, then she will not be able to say what she's saying now, because if her face was there, then it means that they've given her the exposure.
About what she's saying, but that's not what I think.
I did a few commercials in Ghana when I was there, radio commercials and for different brands, and my voice was used. Now, imagine tomorrow I become a very big voiceover artist, and then these people are now telling me that it was because you did those stuff in Ghana. Of course, I'm not going to acknowledge that that was what made me, because my face wasn't behind the voice. Do you understand? Nobody recognizes me to you today that was the guy who did it.
No, when it comes to being a voiceover artist, you do so many jobs that even the ones that will pay you millions, you don't necessarily get credited.
That's the same thing with singing, especially backup singing.
It's not just
backup that she did. She didn't even show backup. She didn't even show. That's what I'm saying. Some girls would have even found as
I do you.
I tell you, there's never a dull moment here. But unfortunately, we haven't got time to argue it back and forth, guys.
It was when WAJE dropped that.
It made me want to.
It's a wrap, guys. Join us this afternoon for a brand new episode of the program. Until then, a big thank you to my co-anchors Elsie Godwin and Ife Oshunke. They never have enough time to finish their arguments. The entire production team as well. I have to thank you guys for the good job that you're doing. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you later this afternoon.